Leah found a strange stone in the forest and discovered a stone sculpture nearby. She placed the stone in the eyes of the sculpture. Suddenly, an insect crawled out of the statue's mouth. The insect was slender with 6 legs, but Leah was not afraid. At that moment, her mother called her, and the insect flew away. However, it secretly followed Leah. At midnight, the insect climbed onto Leah's bed. Leah greeted the insect, and suddenly, it transformed into a fairy. Its body was human-like, with wings. The fairy guided Leah to a place, and brave Leah followed it. They arrived at some ruins in the forest, which contained a winding labyrinth. They came to an underground cave. Suddenly, they saw a half-human, half-goat monster, with goat horns, spiral patterns on its forehead, large elf ears, and long, slender white eyes. Below the head, it had a human body, although it was a bit shriveled and hunched. It claimed to be Pan and had been waiting for Leah's return. Long ago, the princess of this underground kingdom had sneaked into the human world. However, it lost her memory because of sunlight exposure. She forgot she was a princess and endured the cold and disease of the human world, eventually dying there. But the king believed the princess would return, so he created the labyrinth to wait for his daughter's return. Pan told Leah that she was the princess. She could return to the kingdom if she completed 3 tasks. So, he gave Leah a task book. Leah took the book and went home. The next day, Leah opened the book. It instructed her to defeat a toad monster under a big oak tree, which was causing the tree to wither. She needed to put a magic stone in the toad's mouth, retrieve a golden key, and help the oak tree recover. Leah took off her outer skirt and climbed into the tree hole alone. It was dark and damp, filled with disgusting bugs crawling all over her. Despite this, Leah did not retreat and persevered through the foul water. Suddenly, she heard a gurgling sound. She turned to see a toad monster covered in pustules. In the next moment, the toad monster flicked out a 16-foot-long tongue, directly licking the bugs off Leah's face. The disgusting slime covered Leah's face, and she almost vomited. It seemed the toad monster was not interested in humans, but it did scare Leah. The toad monster roared. It emitted a foul stench, as if to say, "Little girl, you're stepping in my bowl, and I need to eat." Leah had an idea. She picked up a beetle from the ground, wrapped the magic stone in it, and tricked the toad into swallowing it. The toad monster fell for it. It started to retch, vomiting a large pile of stuff, with the beetle still wriggling. Then the toad monster deflated, leaving only a layer of pustule skin. Leah looked down and saw the key in the vomit. She picked it up, climbed out of the tree hole, and reported back to Pan. Pan told Leah to keep the key safe, and gave her a piece of chalk to use for the second task. This time, Leah saw a large bloodstain appear on the book. She remembered Pan saying the book could show future events, as well as tasks. Leah sensed something bad was happening. When she opened the door, she saw her pregnant mother covered in blood. She quickly asked her stepfather, Vidal, to call a doctor, but her mother was critically ill. Vidal, a cruel officer, led his troops to pillage and kill nearby. That night, Pan appeared, giving Leah mandrake root, shaped like a baby. Pan explained, "Just soak the root in milk, add 2 drops of blood, and place it under your mother's bed. She will be safe." Then, he gave Leah a fairy pouch and a large hourglass. He told her to complete the second task quickly, warning her of a feast, but she must not eat anything, and must return before the sand runs out. Leah opened the book. It instructed her to draw a door with the chalk, to go to the location of the second task. The edge of chalk slowly melted. When Leah gently pushed, it opened a secret room. Leah turned the hourglass, then entered the room. In front of her was a table filled with a feast, and at the end of the table was the eyeless monster. Leah was startled, but bravely examined the plates with eyeballs. After ensuring it was safe, she released 3 fairies. Following the fairies' guidance, she used the golden key to open the first door, and retrieved a golden hammer. However, Leah, tempted by the feast, couldn't resist eating some grapes. Unexpectedly, her act of greed triggered the eyeless monster. "Look, this monster has only nostrils and a mouth, with 2 large eyeballs on a tray in front of it. Its body is skeletal, and its 10 fingers are crimson and terrifying." Leah, in search of treasure, was frightened by the eyeless monster. She was stunned, unable to stay long, so she quickly released the fairies to find the treasure. She used the key to open the door, and retrieved the golden spike. But at that moment, the eyeless monster moved its claw. It placed its eyes in its palms, and raised them to its head. It scanned around, immediately spotting Leah. Leah ran for her life, but the sand had run out, and the exit door closed. The monster limped after Leah, tracking her with its palm eyes. In desperation, Leah came up with an idea. Leah used the chalk to draw a door on the ceiling. She quickly pushed the door open. She grabbed the edge of the stone door and narrowly escaped, closing the door just in time. Although it was a close call, Leah didn't dare to report to Pan, as she had disobeyed orders, causing 2 fairies to be eaten. She feared she might face the punishment. The next day, Leah followed Pan's instructions, dropping blood into the bowl. To her surprise, the mandrake root moved. Her mother began to recover, though still with a slight fever. Vidal told the doctor, "It's not the woman that matters, but ensuring the child's safe birth." That night, Pan came, and the last remaining fairy reported Leah's disobedience. It made Pan furious, and he forbade Leah from returning to the kingdom. The mandrake root lost its power, and her mother's condition worsened again. Vidal discovered the mandrake root in front of Leah. Vidal threw it to her mother, ordering her to punish Leah. Disappointed, her mother thought Leah was practicing witchcraft. She threw the root into the fire. Leah heard the root's painful screams in the fire, unable to save it. At that moment, her mother suddenly experienced labor pains, collapsing to the ground. Without the root's protection, disease struck again. Her mother died after giving birth to her brother. After her mother's death, Leah became depressed. She was suffering abuse and disdain from her stepfather, living a hard life. But that night, Pan appeared again. He gave Leah one last chance. He asked her to bring her newborn brother to the labyrinth, so she could return to the kingdom. Leah drew a door with the chalk, leading to her stepfather's room. When he went out, she secretly drugged his drink. Vidal returned without noticing anything. He drank the wine. At that moment, an explosion caught his attention. He saw Leah holding the baby at the door. Leah ran. The drug took effect, making Vidal stagger as he chased her to the labyrinth. Under the full moon, Leah met Pan successfully. Pan said, "You need your brother's blood to open the portal home." Leah firmly shook her head and refused, saying no. She stated she would rather die with her brother. Vidal arrived. Seeing Leah talking to the air, he thought she was possessed. Ignoring it, he walked over. He grabbed the baby and shot Leah. As Vidal left the labyrinth, he found it surrounded by the gorillas. Knowing his fate was sealed, he handed the baby to the gorillas. He asked them to tell the boy about his father's death when he grew up. The gorilla leader replied, "Don't even think about it. He won't even know your name," and shot Vidal. Leah, now barely alive, experienced an out-of-body moment. She found herself in a golden palace, wearing princess robes. Looking up, she saw her real parents on high thrones. Leah had returned to the underground kingdom. The moon goddess was her mother. Her father told Leah, "You stopped Pan from killing the innocent baby, holding onto your moral integrity, so you could return." In the human world, Leah, in her mortal body, breathed her last that night. But Princess Leah returned to the kingdom and ruled it justly and kindly for centuries. The movie is called Pan's Labyrinth. I recommend everyone watch the original movie. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.